You watched me get fat 5 times in my 18 years as a YouTube fitness influencer. And each time I made mistakes, and each time I learned something new. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through each of the 5 times that old Uncle Yo got fat right in front of your face. And I'm gonna reveal to you the mistakes I made so you don't have to repeat them and struggle with cyclical weight gain like I have. So if you're anything like me, and you're 20, 30, or even 50 pounds overweight, and you've lost weight before, right? Like you know what it feels like to be lean, but you gained the weight back maybe multiple times, then you're gonna wanna watch this video until the end, where I will talk about the new video series that's starting today about my struggles with cyclical weight gain, what I've learned as a result, and the new path that I'm currently carving in order to get lean and stay lean for life. Permanent fat loss. Okay, so if you're overweight right now, but you know what it feels like to be lean and in shape because you've lost weight in the past, but you've gained it back, you're gonna resonate with a lot of the stories that I'm sharing with you right now, and you probably have been struggling with cyclical weight gain your entire life. But we're gonna begin the story in 2003, 23 years old, and you could see young E looking pretty ripped. This was about the time that I discovered Paul Chek, and I learned that I was gluten intolerant, so I stopped eating bread and magically started losing weight. And there's also a time where I was experimenting with fasting before fasting was really a thing. And it was mainly because of religious reasons. So, you know, old Uncle Yo has been the same since the get-go. So I was lean, right? Every fat story begins with somebody who is lean. And here I am looking lean and dapper as a young 23-year-old. So many years later, I guess maybe four years later, after I moved down to Florida, I discovered Strongman. And it was like my second love after football. And as a result, I wanted to compete and I wanted to win. And so I was lifting like a maniac, but at the same time, I was also bulking up. I wanted to compete in 230 pounds. I was walking around 190 at the time. And so, you know what I did? What every bro does. I started sucking down muscle milk and whole O's, as well as using a little bit of test and trend. So I was pinning. So I'll take you back to these days, man. It must have been like 2006, 7, 8, around that time. And I wanted to gain weight, so I started myself on a 4,000 calorie diet to bulk. And you see this little concoction down here, the milk, the O's, and the Cypionate? Man, I would drink a muscle milk with, and let me remind you, those of you who don't know, muscle milk is like dense. I think it was banned by the NCAA because it was just making guys too jacked. There's something in muscle milk that just makes the muscle grow, but it also makes you puffy as all hell, yo. So I was sucking down about 3 muscle milk shakes a day. But that wasn't just it. I wasn't satisfied. I needed to get all my calories in those shakes. So I used to put heavy cream in the shake to add extra fat. I would put Udo's oil in the in the shake to add extra fat. I mean, I was just getting all the calories from fat. And I would mix cereal in it also. Now, mind you, I always used organic cereal because remember, I discovered I was gluten intolerant. So I was eating all these gluten-free shakes that were actually very unhealthy. Here I am thinking I'm being healthy. I knew better. Trust me, I knew better. In fact, you know better, and all the reasons why I got fat each 5 times, I knew better too. But there are things that I had to learn about myself. Because you know what, bros? It's an internal battle, right? Like we're battling the bulge, like they say on TV, right? Like you're fighting fat, but you're really not. You're fighting yourself. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but you got to know that I was purposefully putting on weight, yo. And so I took steroid for my first show, and this is what I end up looking like, yo. This is the recipe, if you want, for looking like that, in case you ever want to do that. And there are some dudes that maybe are still in their 20s and they want to do that too. Hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it works. And you can see because Yo Elliott is blown up. And so it's probably about 2010, man. And I'm winning strongman shows. I became a pro and slinging hoes. No, That's not the truth. But I was winning. I was taking home trophies. Now, here's the thing. It didn't last very long until I tore my bicep. Popped my damn bicep doing strongman. So let's talk about the first mistake I made going from young E to young swole E and popping my damn bicep. Mistake number one, getting swole is fun and addicting, man. And you younger guys, you totally get it, right? Like get big or die. So it was a lot of fun. I wanted to test the boundaries and see how big I could possibly get. Never used steroids in college. I was just wanting to give it an experiment, see what would happen. And so here I am, yo. And so with that being said, I got pretty damn fat. I blew my bicep tendon. Things could have been worse, but they do get worse. Then I focused on YouTube for a few years and blew up on YouTube. And then I had a lean time. And during my lean times, I made mistakes too. So I'm making that very clear. 2013, 2014, this looks like the guy that you guys remember. This is the Yo Elliott from Strength Camp YouTube channel, which if you noticed, I've recently changed it. It was just a different incarnation. It was a different time, but most of you guys know me and still associate me with being that lean, rip, charismatic guy. It's still me, but a lot more wisdom and a lot more scars, wounds as a result. So let me talk to you about what I was doing that wasn't sustainable, because really each time I got lean, I was doing extreme shit. So I was doing what my uncle called the turkey diet, which is a diet that my uncle would go on when he would reset his bodybuilding gains. So he'd take 2 weeks, he'd nothing but turkey and broccoli. But at the same time, I was also learning about intermittent fasting, right? So this is early 2012, 2013, before it was even a thing. I'm always an early bird. And so I'm not eating, but when I do eat, all I'm eating is turkey. So that works, right? Like you're gonna get lean, but it's totally unsustainable, right? I'm already making my excuses, unsustainable, but it just sounds fucking unsustainable. Now, as a mature adult, I realize you can't just eat turkey breast and broccoli all day long and live that way. It's inhumane. Quick story about Omar Issa, if he's another YouTube creator here on YouTube. I don't know if he's still doing what he does, but he was doing it back then, and he came down to old Uncle Yo's gym. And it was the first time that I was becoming an influencer. It was the time that I was becoming famous and people wanted to come and visit me and stuff. And so this guy came and visited me, and I would just remember how in awe he was at the giant Pyrex container of broccoli that I had. He was like, I've never seen so much broccoli in one sitting. And I don't get out much, never did, never will. I just don't. And so it was the first time somebody challenged me on eating all that much broccoli. And I was like, is this weird? Does nobody do this? Mind you, I work out in a warehouse gym. I don't by myself. I don't go to the gym where the gym bros tell you, maybe you shouldn't do that, right? Of course, I got access to the internet, but I'm hard-headed. I'm making excuses. I'm just telling you the way I am. So I was eating turkey and broccoli. I got real lean, became sexy. And look, so I was looking good and I was getting famous on YouTube. People were making memes about me, good memes and bad memes, but little pictures like this. They would take snapshots from my videos and send them up on Instagram. And so I was a sexy dude. And I had spent most of my 20s struggling. And by this point, it was when the red pillars say that a man doesn't reach his peak till his 30s. Well, boy, I tell you, it's the truth. I reached my peak. And so I peaked up. I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was in for. It was all brand new, but I was enjoying the shit out of it. Because when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and most of my friends that were out partying, I was raising a family and building a business. But I got to do it in my early 30s. So here I am drinking vodka at parties, and I tell you, I did a whole lot of partying during this season, right? It was the first time I had money. It's the first time I had the ability to do anything nice. And so I started taking my family on vacations too, right? So I wasn't only just partying and drinking. I was also taking my family on vacations. And I got to tell you, this is where the next time I got fat. Here's how the story goes. We went to Georgia, right? I was still on a budget, right? And so I took my car, got my kids. We filled up the van and got to Georgia. And in Georgia, I don't know if you know, but Savannah, Georgia is known for its food. So I'm eating Mrs. Wilkes, right? This is old Southern. This is Southern cooking, good food. And I was into country music. I was drinking, partying, family, friends. It was fantastic, but the problem was I got fat again. So here we are, Second time I got fat, right? Went from this to that. So the clock kept ticking and I got lean again. This time doing yoga and carnivore. I was the meat eating yogi. So I was eating nothing but steak for days at a time and doing yoga. And so I looked pretty damn good. I was getting pretty lean. I was making some YouTube videos and things were going well. But strangely, this was the time I got my worst injuries. I tore my right bicep in 2015. Then I tore my Achilles tendon in 2017. And you could just imagine, dudes, like injuries are major setbacks, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So I didn't so much get fat, but I stopped lifting. I was doing yoga and I was eating quite a bit. And that's when I got my first dad bod. I could legitimately say I had a dad bod because you can see like the muscles have deflated, right? Shoulders not there. Waist is bigger than chest. I mean, I'm looking thick, but I'm not in shape. And the mistakes that I made during that time was, listen, carnivore and keto, it was extreme and it was unsustainable for me. I know there are guys, and I like these guys, Dr. Sean Baker and stuff like that, who they've been eating nothing but steak for years. I don't know, guys, like, I understand that it's possible. I understand that it may, in fact, be good for you depending on the person. That's for sure. It's not for everybody. But, like, who the fuck wants to eat only meat for the rest of their life? Like, I thought I could do it because I'm a wannabe tough guy. So I'm like, and this is what happens every time. I think I can do it. I can do this extreme thing and sustain it for longer than is reasonable. I just don't have it in me. I still want to have some rice. I want a bagel every once in a while. I like drinking wine with my wife, right? And so I don't think keto is sustainable for me, and nor do I want to do it. It sounds like hell. I admire the guys that can do it, but if you're anything like me, you still want that ice cream at least once in a while, right? So I rebounded and got fat again. Then I got lean again. In 2019, I turned 40 and it was a very tumultuous time in my life. So I started fasting and I fasted myself down to the bone, bro, as you can see right here. The main difference between the intermittent fasting I was doing when I was trying to get lean and the fasting that I was doing right here, I literally was just trying to punish myself. I was learning about spiritual fasting from ancient Christian texts. Right? I wanted to know about fasting from a Western perspective. I didn't want it from Buddha. I want to know what Jesus Christ and Western men, the church fathers, said about it. And so I was looking at becoming Orthodox. I was literally fasting myself for penance, right? I just like out of guilt, right? And removing the ego so that my spirit could soar. Well, my ego quickly jumped in and it went from, hey, I'm fasting for Jesus to I'm fasting for photos, right? I mean, it's part of my business too. And I am a fitness influencer, so I got to take some pictures. And just, a side note, like fasting, I started fasting and to get rid of my ego. And then like fasting made my ego even bigger and stronger. Amazing how it works that way. Potential. Then, like I said, I was doing spiritual fasting. I remembered that I was Catholic, right? I literally remembered, I brought that member back into my life, that I was Catholic. So I stuck with that, never became Orthodox, but Catholics like drinking, especially wine. And so I took to that really quickly. And during the pandemic, my wife and I started drinking a lot, right? And when she drinks, she gets frisky. And so we're doing it a lot, right? Pandemic time, wine and women. And so here I am in a hot mess of dopamine hits while everything's on lockdown. I decided to get high again. You know what? I'm enjoying this wine. I'm enjoying my wife. And let me throw in a little bit of weed. And that gave me the munchies, so I got fat again. Weed, wine, and women. That's a recurring theme in this season of my life. Weed, wine, and women is the trifecta. So anyway, I had weed, wine, and women, and I decided to get swole and go back to Strongman around this time as well. So it's sort of a four-tiered approach. Mistake number 4. So the mistake that I made when I was getting lean was prolonged fasting is unsustainable for me. Like I said before, I'm not against keto, I'm not against carnivore, I'm not against fasting. In fact, I'm a big promoter of each of them at different stages in my life, but just not sustainable, bro. Going 7, 10, 21 days was the longest I did fasting, just not eating food, sucking down air and H2O. And so it definitely became a thing about my ego. The real bad about this time is that I never really got lean again. It was just a downward trajectory to degeneration, and I started taking TRT because when you drink wine, it lowers your testosterone, and my libido was suffering, and instead of giving up the grapes, I decided I'm just gonna pin again with some hormones, right? And so you'd think I would have learned my lesson popping my biceps when I was younger, but no, I got back on it and I just got more and more swole. So here we're entering sort of the timeline that we're in today. 2021 to 2024, Master Strongman Elliott. I was competing, but I was just being a fat beast. So mistake number 5 for perpetually getting fatter over the course of the last 5 years. Still doing extreme shit, man. Extreme with the weed, wine, and women. Let me know if you struggle too. That became a lifestyle for me since I moved to the ranch. Lost my way, forgot who I was, and I was literally killing myself. This picture is from about a year ago. Literally killing myself. I'll put it this way. I got my blood work results given back to me, and I was pre-diabetic, right? Hemoglobin H1-3, not looking so good. High blood pressure, right? High blood pressure, all the wrong markers, and I was denied life insurance. This is when I hit rock bottom. This is when I realized that I was not just loving the weed, wine, and women, but I was destroying my family, meaning like, what if I died, right? What if I died? And life insurance would be helpful. Of course, my children would probably rather have their father, but that was a tip off to me that something needed to change. And so here we are right now. I was on a suicide path. I was denied life insurance. I was doing a whole lot of things just not healthy for my body, eating whatever I wanted. This is me about a week ago. Took a picture for you guys to see. And so a lot of things are very different about the way I'm getting lean right now. And you can even tell by the thickness of my abdominal muscles. I'm losing fat and I'm not losing muscle for the first time. Every single time I've lost fat in the past, I burned a lot of muscle. And it was because I was doing extreme shit. So this is going to be like never before. I'm going to be stepping into my most aesthetic self ever. The most muscle and the least body fat, totally naturally, doing it in a sustainable way with simple daily habits. I'm going to talk to you guys about that in the next video. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but let me tell you about the things I avoid in order to never get fat ever again. This is my commitment to the world. I'm saying it here. And if you're in the same situation, listen close with an open ear, because there may be things that you can apply to your life too. So no more extreme diets. I don't know if you're anything like me, dude, but like I'm attracted to extreme shit. I'm attracted to all kinds of extreme things. And when it comes to diet and health, no different. Actually, I used to think it was a strength because it allowed me to be courageous and take action where most people were afraid. But I actually discovered that it's laziness because I don't take my time to do things right. Instead, I just jump in and try to get it quick. It's just a personality flaw. No more denying myself pleasures. No more saying, oh, I'll never eat rice again. I'll never eat ice cream again. I'll never drink wine again. I've tried these things. I've tried denying myself of all of these things. Just punishing myself, just being a masochist. And here's what happens. Whenever I deny myself of those things, they grow in importance. Meaning now I'm thinking more about it. It's like the war on crime creates more crime, right? Like the war on vice creates more vice. It helped me for a little while I was able to hold the beach ball underwater, but you know that eventually the beach ball pops back up if you let go. You got to let go at some point. And so I couldn't hold it down that long. And when the beach ball is let go of, what does it do? It just comes to the surface, it pops back up. So I was in this extreme swings of extremes. So you pervert the things that pleasure. The things that you get pleasure from, you begin to pervert. No more using willpower and forcing change with effort. So like I said, I would just like let myself go, and then I'd just be like for 90 days or even a full year when I was fasting, I would force myself to do shit. Right? Being a warrior, being a masochist, being young, dumb, and not right. And so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about not using my willpower and doing things in a sustainable and consistent way. No more extreme workouts. Still love strongman. Still want to lift stones till the day that I die, but I can't keep doing it all season long. It's just destroying me. My joints hurt too. No more quick fixes and no more steroids. I'm not using TRT. I'm 45 years old. I'd use it for a little bit because I want to see what happens. You know, I don't know. I get FOMO and shit like that. But I'm not touching this shit. Maybe when I'm 70, like my dad's age or something, but there's no reason for me at 40, 50, probably even 60 to be touching that shit because I'm normal, I'm healthy, I'm strong. And if I'm just consistent like you will be after watching this series, you can have anything that you want. And it's easy and it's fun. So once again, if you're a guy like me and you've been fat and lean and everything in between, then this series is for you. If you've gained and lost the weight more than once, I'm going to show you a sustainable path that I'm following to get and stay lean for life. No more of this yo-yo crap. And for those of you who haven't struggled, if you're still watching this, you know, there may be people in your family that have eating disorders like me and my fat friends that are watching this video. So maybe you learned something that you can teach to your friend or your family member, or you could even share this video with them, which brings me to, if you like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and engage with my video. So this video is number 1 of a 5-part series. Engage by watching all 5 parts. Today we're talking about the problem, and we're going to be talking about the possibility of sustainable fat loss and getting lean permanently tomorrow. Then we're going to talk about the principles on the next day. Production, path. So we've got 5 videos: problem, possibility, principle, production, path. Each new video is going to drop each day this week, Monday through Friday. And I'll see you tomorrow.